I think real confidence is developed through just trials and tribulations. Small W's, L, W, 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 L, W, W. And I think the more W's you take on throughout life, I think the more confidence you build.
But to be the man, you gotta beat the man. If you vibe, don't hit you. People who ride with you, get it live. You can paint that picture. Let's Ain't get no ready
to rumble. Welcome to the Royer Rumble podcast, man. Guys, I'm so excited. This is the first episode. So I got to kick things off. I got to set the tone with a good, strong guest. And, man, I got Garth, Big Sexy Tubbs here in town.
Let's go, man.
And, it's kind of funny because, like, first off, it's my first crack at it. So I'm just going to, just like anything, I'm going to fail my way to success. And what's so funny is I had a little time at the office today, and I Googled how to be a good podcast host. And so the first thing that a couple things popped up, it said, like, like everything made sense. Like, do your fucking homework, do your research, like, know who you're fucking talking to, which makes complete sense. But I wouldn't be my true self if I wasn't transparent with you guys. So I don't know too much about Garth, but what I do know is that I like him a lot. So I've been following him for a little while. And the thing that I gravitated towards is your energy, your smile. You like to, it's like you're going to be more likely to like someone if they smile. And following you and looking at your story, reading your story, just the entrepreneurial spirit. And one constant, and and I want to dive, I want to get granular and detail with the story. But one video that I've seen happen and pop up like several times is like, what got you into this? And I keep seeing you have like that one liner, like, I was partying, and I want to take away from your story, but I'm telling you what gravitated me towards you and wanting to get to know you more is I keep hearing you say, like, I used to party, go out, and I figured, like, I'm already out. The premise I got was like, dude, I'm already out spending the money. Yep. Why not just like monetize it? Well, if I'm already out doing it, why not figure out a way to make money off of it and be entrepreneurial? So that's why I was like, all right, I like this dude.
Yeah.
And I've heard nothing but, we have a lot of mutual friends. We know a lot of the same people here in Dallas. And that's it. So, dude, first and foremost, thank you for coming on. It really does mean a lot to me. It's the first guest. So we're going to bring some heat. And last thing, then I want you to get started, is we did have a phone call before. And I said, hey, tell me what's off limits. Tell me what you're not comfortable with. And I completely respect that. I want to honor that. And Big Sexy was like, dude, I'm good, man. I'm an open book.
Open book.
Yeah.
Man.
So yeah. I respect that a lot. So without further ado, Garth, man, thank you so much. Tell us, tell me, let's go back as early as you want, and just tell me kind of how it all started and, where you're at.
For sure. First and foremost is I just want to say thank you for having me on the podcast, man. It's truly an honor. And same thing, even being a guest, it's like, all right, before you jump on a podcast, you want to know, like, how serious is your host, right? And I was looking at your content, and we talked about this briefly when I was here. I was like, dude's on a mission, and you're just meant for the camera. And it's cool because, like, in a weird way, I look up to it. We don't even know each other, right? Yeah. And so, awesome move on that. I know you talk highly about your team and stuff. So just, I just want to say thank you for having me here, most importantly. But yeah, so, like you said, it's that one-liner, which is kind of my easiest way to explain it because, all your life, someone's like, how'd you get into this, right? Yeah. Like, wait, what do you do? Oh, I'm in the nightclub industry. I own bars. Like, how'd you get into that? I was like, well... And then the line, I used to party all the time. And so now I just wanted to figure out how to turn my expense into a profit. And that's really what it came down to at the end of the day. It depends. Where do you want me to start with this story?
So let's go. Let's just go walk me through a little bit about your childhood so I know a little bit about, and the audience knows about your upbringing, kind of how you were raised and brought up, and maybe some, perceptions you had on the world and society and anything.
Great question. So I actually grew up in the Dominican Republic, right?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, believe it or not. So I moved there when I was about 3 years old. My dad worked for the government. He was just out there. He brought me and my brother with him. And then we ended up leaving the DR whenever it was about my freshman year of high school. So I grew up in the DR, yeah. So I was the new kid in Texas.
Age 3 to freshman of high school?
Freshman of high school. So I was
you're
13 or 14, yeah.
So like 10 solid years in the DR.
Correct.
That's your childhood.
That's my childhood.
So what was hang out?
A perspective, man. This is awesome. And this is crazy, but in the DR, there's really only two, social classes, income classes. Really, it's either you were really rich or you're really poor. It's the honest truth. And we weren't either. We just were government. And so the government, educationally wise, we get put in the schools with the really rich people. So, for example, I went to school with like Sammy Sosa's kids, Pedro Martinez's kids.
Wow.
Like, we were pre-K through 12th grade. So it's not like we had a lot of money, but we did certainly have the good things like status,
Yep.
right? Like, we got to go to the embassy. We got to ride the school bus. We went to a private school. Like, all that was paid for by the government. So, it was one of my larger perspectives in life, and was what really kind of gave me my initial burst of hustle is, all my friends, for example, I had a couple group of my friends, some of them were the Braches, right? And these guys owned all of the milk in the DR, right?
Wait, what's Braches?
Braches is the last name, right?
Okay.
The Braches, right?
Okay.
So their family basically produced, manufactured, and sold all the milk in the DR, right? Because it's just a tight-knit community.
Yeah.
And they had the yachts, and they had the chauffeurs, and all the stay-at-home maids. They had all the drivers and the nice cars. And so, like, for us, for fun, we would, like, go out on the ocean on their yacht and then, like, party all day, And by party, we were kids. We were just jumping off, doing backflips, right?
Yeah.
And, like, that was really it. So I knew that coming to the U.S., it was such a culture shock because I was like, yo, wait, where are all the drivers at? Like, where's the boats? None of one has a maid here.
You peasants got to drive
Well,
your own
it's crazy.
fucking car.
It's the honest truth. And like,
Because it's just what you're exposed to.
right.
It's all you know.
And you're probably thinking like, man, you're right. Like these drivers and chauffeurs, it's got to be expensive. But, another perspective is a stay-at-home, maid, which at the end of the day is a full-service nanny, right?
Sure.
Like nanny, maid, food, cook, clean, take care of all the kids. Like no matter what, had a room that they lived in.
Yeah.
These people were getting paid like $250 a month. Like, and they ate our food because they cooked it with them.
Sure.
Like they had a roof over their head. It was just extra income that they would send back to their family anyways.
Right.
So $250, I think at the time went a really long way. So it's not that people had an exorbitant amount of extra money, even though they did. It was just like, the type of living lifestyle. It was just a different budget. Right.
Yeah.
So getting to the US, I was like, no. There's a cooler life here. I swear. Like, there's got to be people out here. And so that's what kind of like hustled me up. And I was like, I got such an interesting taste of, this wild lifestyle that was very normal to people. And then like, you come to the US and it's not like it's terrible. It's just like totally different economies. You know what I mean? Multiple different social classes. And you got to learn to like build up to one and the other. And, so it's always a level up for them. But
when you moved from DR to where did you move into the States first?
Yeah. So I actually lived in West Virginia for 1 year.
Okay.
West Virginia. My dad worked in Washington, D.C.
Got it.
So he would commute. I lived in the mountains, dirt bikes, like 10 inches of snow, no school canceled, West Virginia. And then a year later, I moved to Texas, which was Cibolo, Texas, which is a little north of San Antonio.
Okay.
And it was crazy. My dad basically asked me, he's like, yo, what high school do you want to go to? Do you want to go to a high school that you could be the star football player at all 4 years? Or do you want to go to a high school where you have to work your butt off, maybe start your senior year and maybe get a scholarship and go play in the college level?
Okay.
So me and my brother, like, we want to work our butts off, Dad. It was just like, that was our thing. My dad was a Marine, so like everything was always a challenge and the next level. Like he was always pushing us. And so we go to Steele High School, which, let me give you the alternative. The alternative was the all 4 years starting would have been, across the street. They went 0-10. It was Clemens High School. They went 0-10. Couldn't seem to win the game, all in the same district, right? And then across the street was Steele High School, which was, my high school career, we probably went like 45-3. We lost 3 games, all my high school career.
Powerhouse.
State championships, back-to-back.
Damn.
State championship appearances.
Yeah.
Whatever. High school was great. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, we could, go down that route, but it was just interesting how, you do a little bit of research. You probably put yourself in a better position.
Yeah. Okay, so you went the powerhouse route.
Powerhouse route.
Where you had to work your ass off.
Yep, worked our ass off.
Okay, well, hang on. Did you end up working up to a starting role? Or?
No. So, obviously, you do freshman class.
Yeah.
That was cool, like 10-0, whatever, like freshman team, who cares? And then sophomore year was our state championship. I was a backup linebacker.
Okay.
And then junior year was my time to shine. Went to state, lost in the state finals. That was an undefeated run. lost in the state finals. Next year, undefeated again, losing the state semis.
Oh.
And so every year was so close, but wasn't it. So I actually never even really started as a starting linebacker for a state winning championship team.
Got it. But you guys were good.
But
you guys were good. You were tough.
And, it's cool because senior year, it's like all the D1 scouts, they're watching. Like, I think out of the 16 starting seniors, you've got like almost all of them get a scholarship.
Yeah.
And whether it's D1 or D2. So senior year, I ended up tearing my ACL, my last game of the year, just out. I was like,
Damn.
So as you can imagine, man, no calls came in after that. Like, it was always one school after another, but after the ACL, it's just like, boom, dust. So out of the 3 or 4 universities that were still left interested in me, whether they knew I tore my ACL or not, who knows?
Yeah.
My dad was like, yo, you're wearing pants and you keep a straight leg. You hear me, son? I'm like, yes, sir. So whether they knew it or not, I ended up taking a scholarship for a Division II in Northwestern Oklahoma.
Okay.
Played there for 2 seasons. And I was just like, done, man.
What was the name of the school?
It was Northwestern Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
The Rangers.
Yeah.
Panhandle. So.
Wait, do you know Cole Taylor?
Cole Taylor.
Okay, he's in the fitness industry, buddy of mine. He went there and played there.
Really? You know what year?
He's like in his early 30s. Yeah. We'll link up after our show.
Yeah. But that was the college career, man. And I guess and I like to always tell a story and at least try to hit you with some sort of realization or something. But, when it came to like why I left Northwestern or like a full ride, and one of the hardest conversations I had with my dad was telling him, I was like, Dad, like, and this is obviously in tears. I'm playing it cool right now, but I'm like, Dad, like, I don't want to play this game anymore. Like, I'm done with college football. I just want to go to college and like live a normal college life. And my dad's like, dude, I could have told you weren't going to make it to the league. I was like, come on, man. He's like, don't cry. It's all good. Just know that you're going to have to like pay for your own school. Like, I'm not going to pay for your college. You had a scholarship.
Yeah.
If you want to take an alternative route, you got to take an opportunity cost. And so that was it, man. Went to Texas State, joined my brother at T-State, kind of started getting into the industry there. I was in a fraternity, started working in the industry. Obviously, we always go out. That's kind of like how my bar and like nightlife story kind of started.
Got it. So that's where it sparks. So you transfer out of Oklahoma, and so you're a sophomore, junior in college.
I'm a sophomore.
Okay, so you're 20.
Yep.
You're not 21 yet.
Not even 21 yet.
So you transfer to Texas State, which is where?
Texas State is in San Marcos, Texas.
Okay, got
it.
A
little north of San Antonio.
Okay.
And then south of Austin.
Got it. Is that real big for spring break? Back in the day, I feel like people from Ohio, I'm from Ohio, people go to like San Marcos, I feel like, for spring break or something.
Yeah.
Is it rowdy there, or am I thinking about a different area?
I mean, San Marcos is very rowdy. Sometimes ranked.
Is there a beach? Is there some?
School. We have a river that goes through our
river,
campus.
That's it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Big, nice river goes through our campus.
Okay. People in Ohio talk about this all the time. Like, there's crazy place in Texas with the river. It's wild for spring break.
Yeah.
It was either like Panama City, Daytona Beach, or like this little fucking town in Texas.
For sure. And we're like world famous for floating. Like
yes.
In high school, I used to work at the river. Even early college years, like that was our thing. Like the coolest job to have at that age was working on the river, dealing with drunk people.
Yeah.
Like getting their tubes and putting them on buses. And they got campers and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that was a big deal for sure.
That's sick. So you go to Texas State. So now I would imagine that's a little more fun than Oklahoma.
Way funner.
Okay.
Way funner. Just big city, big school, like way better.
So you get exposed to going out partying on a bigger scale.
Yep.
And then your brain starts ticking like, okay, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the flows. I'm seeing the waves where people are going and what they're doing. And then you're in college. And then how does this kind of segue into like, I got to do something with this?
Yeah. So my early fill outs in college were like, obviously that's like when I started like, oh, what do I love? And we loved going out. I was always at concerts and stuff. The river was big. They literally had festivals on the river, and I'd work these things. And so I started dabbling in like, kind of like, I was a bartender at first. And let me see how I want to put this. But
did you start bartending at like just a popular bar, like where like the spot? Or
no, I bartended where you can get in at. So again, we have a district, and it's just one of those things where, and I'm sure you know it about in this industry, is like not just anyone can go get a job at a top tier bar. Like you gotta have experience, and like super high quality staff members have to refer high quality potential future prospects, right? And so I had to start off somewhere kind of smaller. It was honestly kind of not one of the not so good bars, but I started off as a door guy because that's really how you get in.
Sure.
So you start off as a door guy, and I was working door. I was doing my thing. Obviously, okay, this is great. It's paying like whatever, $8 an hour at the time. I was like, but these bartenders are probably making like $15 or $20 an hour. Like, I got to get my way up there. It's just like, 2016, right? 17. And then as a bartender, obviously you want to make more sales because in tandem you get more tips, right? Mm-hmm. And my whole thing is, how do I get people to do more sales here? So I would tell the managers, like, hey, I need to like throw events here. We need better music. Like, you need to stop screaming at the people that are standing on tables. Like, if someone wants a bottle, like, figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not like we don't sell it here. Yeah, like, fucking figure it out.
Yes to everything. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know you can attest to that in business.
Sure.
It's like, you got to figure this out. And my manager's, answer was always just like, hey, bro, this is above my pay grade. Like, just bartend when you get if you want to make more tips, sell more expensive drinks. And I'm like, this market,
it's gotta be a different way.
this market's different, man. Yeah. So, at bartender, I was really trying. It wasn't really working. On the side, me and some boys were throwing like little concerts. We threw like a one-day music festival.
I mean, who would you get to come to perform? Who would you like? College band?
So we had Riff Raff come out. We had Riff Raff perform at this festival on the river.
Okay.
And I mean, he put down a show. Like,
yeah.
We had, I don't know, like 1,100 people show up.
That's a lot of people.
Tickets. Yeah. Like, it was cool. Like, it was definitely cool. The event on a business perspective, like, broke even. So if not, we lost a little bit of money. But what that really did was build credibility for my name. Taught me how to really build a team, how to work with people cohesively for like the same, goal in mind. And the credibility of like, yo, you're that guy that brought 1,100 people around. I'm like,
so I was just about to say, I was trying to find a time to intersect, but I was just thinking, if I went to your fucking show, at concert, whatever, if I went to your venue and I had an unbelievable time and there's 1,100 people, I don't know that you lost money. I don't know how much you met. I mean, I would assume, you don't think about it. You go to a venue, you have a good time. If you go to see an A-list entertainer or not, if you go to have a good time, hey, who put on that show? Oh, he's putting on another one in a month. Well, I got to go. I don't know that you lost money. I know that I had a good time, and I know that whatever you charged me last time, I mean, I'll pay it again.
Yeah.
Because it's worth it.
Correct.
So it's funny you alluded to that, is that like, dude, if you lost money, but you got credibility, people know like, hey, Garth throws down.
Garth throws down. He's about it. He'll go from A to Z. He'll take us to the finish line.
Right.
And even with my team and the steam that I built within them, that's what kind of rolled us over into like, hey, dude, we're like this promo group. Like promotion as in using words to move people, right? Is the way we always looked at it. And, And throwing concerts and festivals, the biggest line item on the expense sheet is always going to be your venue, right?
Okay.
And, sometimes you can break into it by getting alcohol sales, which at the time wasn't really a thing as much. Like, people didn't want you cutting into their alcohol sales. Mm-hmm. So we're like, dude, what are we going to do about this venue thing? We need a consistent place that's not going to break our leg every single time, that's not going to not cut us into alcohol sales when that's clearly the biggest revenue driver. We got to figure out a solution for this. And so I basically found this restaurant in the district, one street over. It was called Aqua Brew. There's a brewery / restaurant, closed at 9, made $0 after 9 p.m. I went up to the owner and was like, yo, I want to turn this into a nightlife spot. You guys make $0 after 9. Like, let's do something. I can move people with words. I got people on the street that do, street promo. Let me do
I'll
this.
get people here.
Give
me your spot.
So
what did he say?
He said, sure, we'll do a 50-50 split. And I was like, okay, 50-50 split? Like, is this gross or net? And at the time, to be honest, I didn't know the difference between gross and net. But I was like, so 50-50 on whatever comes up on that screen, right? He said, correct. And I was like, deal.
Okay.
So immediately we start throwing this event. I mean, the first month, I think we got it to like $1,000 or $1,500 in sales. That was great. By month 2 or 3, it cranked up to like $3,000-4,000. But this is a night, right? Like on a Friday and a Saturday, our best nights.
Okay.
So by the second month, the owner's like, he's cutting me checks, and I've got a whole team. I've got guys that are hitting the streets, bringing in all the big groups. We call them the group leaders, right? The people that can move their people. They're all getting cut off. We've got our own sales system, and this guy's like, nah, dude. Honestly, it shouldn't be net. It shouldn't be gross. It needs to be net. I've got all these expenses and this and that. I got to pay for the lights and you got to turn this on. I was salty, but granted, as a businessman, I'm like, you're right. I get you, man.
Okay.
Fair enough. So then we do net. A month later, we're still growing 6-7K. And I just remember him cutting me a check one day, and you know, it's probably a couple $1,000. And he's like, I can't believe that I'm cutting you this check. You have no college degree. You're not even graduated. Like, this is ridiculous. And I could just tell every time.
Just resentful.
Just fucking just. Hey, where's your sales reports? I don't got them this week. You can come get them next week. And I'm like, always resentful.
Okay.
And at the time, granted,
you're 20 years old, 21 years old, whatever.
I'm 21 years old. And by the way, I got a degree in criminal justice. Like, I was supposed to be like a cop.
Yeah, it's not like you're studying event coordinator, whatever you call it, but yeah.
So finally, my team's like, dude, forget this guy. He was like, he's gonna keep trying to bend us. Like, let's just bounce now while we're ahead. And I'll give it to you. It was my boy Sammer who's like convinced me, dude. I'm like, well, if y'all are cool with it, I'm cool with it, because like we're all getting paid with this. And
you've got the credibility, and you've got the crowd.
Right,
you know that at that point you got a little momentum where you could be like, hey, we're going to this spot 2 streets away. You're confident at that point to be like, fucking yeah, fine. Let's roll. Let's find a different spot.
Just like in business, and I know you can attest, is like where there's a problem, if you've got a solution, if you've done it before, everyone knows what they need to do, when they need to do it. It's like a symphony at that time, right? It's like, oh, let's go find another bar that's doing terrible, and let's put our works in.
Yep.
So we go to another bar, rooftop, same thing. Boom, blow it up.
In the district? The district is like the happening spot.
It's called the Square.
Okay. So in San Marcos, you go to the Square.
Yep.
That's where it's popping.
That's where it's popping.
Got it.
There's like 25 bars.
Still
all
to
in
this
one
day?
Square, walking distance. Still to this day.
Okay.
And basically, to sum this up, is like we went to another bar, did it all over again. His sales diminish. He hasn't been around.
The old guy.
The old guy.
Yep.
Yeah, he still tried to run it. I think it took 8 months until he just ended up selling his place. He was done with it.
God. Wish you could have bought it.
So my boy comes up to me, who's now my business partner, Jonah. And Jonah goes, he was working a finance job at UBS, like, you know, desk, broken back, like cranking it out with a suit and tie. And he's like, dude, I see what you're doing. And I met him because I was on IFC, which was like the governing body of all fraternities on campus.
Okay.
So basically, like, I was the president of every single fraternity on campus, and he was my vice president. And that's like another story.
Yeah.
But I just always wanted to be the best at whatever I possibly could do. And so he's my vice president. He graduates a year before me. He's like, bro, why don't you just open up your own bar? And I'm like, dude, I don't know how to do that. Like, I don't know how to open up a bar. It's like, it's simple.
Like, you're already doing it. You're already doing the hard part.
He's like, it's simple. Just go call someone who like wants to sell their bar. And I'm like, all right, I think I know a couple people. So I hit up one person, and I'm like, hey, I know your bar isn't doing too hot. I looked up the sales online. I mean, it's all
you could do that.
It's all public information.
Come on.
Yeah, it's your alcohol tax sale. So, or your liquor tax. So you have to pay a percentage of tax on the amount of alcohol that you make.
Okay.
So you can just do the reverse math, and there's like apps and websites that'll do it for you.
So you could look at what someone's bringing in. You could do the math yourself. Be like, okay, if they're bringing this much, I know they're bleeding money.
You could probably name a bar that I could tell you what they're reporting, and I could, in Dallas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
wow.
So that's what I did.
I did not know that.
That was my shortcut. Is I just go find a bar that wasn't doing hot. These guys were like tanking, barely paying rent. I could tell because I knew what the average square foot was going for, $1 per square foot on the Square, and then I could like multiply that by what I thought their usable square feet was, and so I just had these equations in my head.
Yeah. Fucking Rayman over here.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's like terrible. Let's go hit them up.
You know what? Hey, opportunity, sure. And chaos lies opportunity. So you're looking at this fucking shit show, and you're like, I know I could do better. Boom, boom, boom.
That's it.
So all you people out there, listen.
Correct.
Like it's a fucking mindset. It's a language. It's a world that you live in where successful people like Garth, they look at shitty situations, just like how people that invest in real estate go into a house or a building that's absolutely decrepit and disgusting, and there's mold and there's rats, and they say, listen, this is a fucking gold mine. This is a cash cow because of the opportunity, because of the demographic, because of I know I could get price per square. So listeners, listen. All right, I'm into it. Keep going.
That's beautifully said. And like, people got to realize is the only way you're going to learn this is by throwing yourself in knee deep. Like, that's what it always is. You're not going to just understand the equation immediately. You're going to have to look at 15 or 20 of them, just like in math class. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why they hit you with 50 equations until test time. So do the same thing, analyze the deal, see what's wrong with it.
Yep.
But yeah, so.
But you know the market. You start looking at these numbers and go on.
Right. Basically, these guys, wanted to sell their bar to us, but we had no money. We were broke. So I was like, man, there lies the next issue. It's like, how could we possibly buy a bar if we're broke college kids? This doesn't make sense. These guys don't know us. I mean, we've got the sales reports from the last 2 bars. We told them our story about how we turned those guys into this guy. And you can see how the money moved each month from everyone's sales reports. It's like gaps from the top bars. And then this random bar just had that massive increase.
Yep.
And so you could see where the flow of money went and where the people spending habits were at. We had no money. I was like, who would trust us? And like, who'd be willing to do this? So I ended up going to talk to my old bosses that I used to work door guy, bartender, manager, told me, chill out, bro. This is above my pay grade. Those guys are on their way out. And before they were ready to bounce, they're like, all right, these kids are hungry. They've got a fire lit. They've got a proven track record. Yep. They've got the credibility on the street.
And you left a good relationship with them.
Correct.
You didn't burn bridges.
No, didn't burn bridges. All is good.
Important thing for people to know.
Of course.
Is like,
never.
Dude,
how?
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
It's so easy to not, just come on, man. Do it the right way.
Yep. So you had the respect and relationship, so you went to them.
So these dudes actually gave us a trial period on management for 3 months and said, if you guys can actually do what you say you can do, we'll seller finance this deal to you. And we didn't even know what seller finance was. I was like, what is that? And he's like, basically, we'll like give it to you, but all the money you make, you have to give it back to us. And then once you pay off this, agreed upon price, then it's yours. Then this portion of it is yours.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, but we can do this with no money down? And he's like, yeah. I was like, well, this is huge. So that's what we do. We manage a place for 3 months. I mean, we blow that place up because it's all training wheels off, right? We know that people want to stand on shit. And that was our thing at my bar, because this was the same bar I worked at. And I'm like, dude,
the trend. You know what people want.
At these guys that are standing on the bar.
Let them get up. Get wild.
As
whatever.
a matter of fact, let's build them a little thing that they can stand on, right? And then let them stand on it. And the same dudes that are, crying about not buying bottles, let's give them bottles now.
I love it. I love it.
So that's what it is. It's just like,
give the people what they want.
Give the people what they want.
I love it.
We're here for our customers. And
this is great.
That was overnight, man. Like, building these standing on sections and the bottle service and affordable bottle pricing. That's what people didn't understand is like our competitors are selling, these top tier sections. And I'm like, dude, where's the demand at? Like, so first I just sold ridiculous price bottles, right? Undercut the market by a landslide. And I'm like, dude, you'd be stupid. And I tell people, you would literally be stupid to not buy a bottle. All of your friends are going to buy a $5 drink and you're going to end up spending technically like $150. I'll give you this bottle for $50.
There you go.
You're getting half cost by just pouring yourself a drink.
There you go.
And as a matter of fact, this girl will pour it for you. So you have no reason to say no to this. And that was it. Bottle service galore. Got the right DJs
at college campuses.
Instantly. It took us 2 months.
Unreal.
We doubled their sales revenue. Our partner's like, holy shit, you guys are great. And that was it. That was really the start of it.
This is good. I'm so into
That's how I got into my first deal, man.
Awesome. So this is circa fucking 2018.
This is 2018, end of 2018, going into 2019. I was a senior in college. I owned my first bar. I was owning my first bar my senior year of college. I'm like trying to get through school, like with my criminal justice degree. I'm like going into my class, and I'm like, you know what I mean? How does this relate to sales? You know what I mean?
Your phone's gotta be. You gotta have hundreds of messages at where we at? What's the plan?
All
What's
day,
the shit?
man.
All day.
And it was just business 101, man. And it's like, once you learn how to supply demand, right, which is really what it is, and once you know what one person's issue is and you have a solution, or someone else has a solution for their issue, I was working that number in class. Like those are some of the advice I give my peeps. I'm like, look, dude, if person A needs the quiz, if person A needs the homework answers, and person B has the quiz answers, and he needs this and they need that, like just have this guy give it to this guy and problem solve, and I'll just be the middleman, So I'm like, you got those quiz? Yeah. All right. Well,
$10. I'll
give you the homework answers. You got the quiz?
Give up 35.
And then I'm flipping both to my boys up top in my fraternity that are like struggling, but.
Funny.
That was
you have this like epiphany in school where you're like,
sure.
I understood something. I fucking trusted myself. I trusted my instinct. Yeah. I knew I was onto something. My back was against the wall. I was confident in what I could deliver. And then homeboy offers me this seller financing, which I just figured out what it was, kill it out of the park. And now you're like, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And the biggest epiphany too was like clock ticking, graduating college.
Did you graduate?
I graduated, yeah.
That must have took a lot of resilience out of you, because when you're the man
for sure
and having success, how do you have the discipline to make it through? So that's a testament to you.
Yeah. No, and
you better believe if I'm running bars on college campus, there's a 0% chance I'm graduating.
It's tough. It was tough.
But you did it.
No, I did it. And luckily I had one semester left, and so it was like finish line. Like, how could I not? You know?
Yeah.
And so, but to be honest, you know, everyone has a different perspective on like pro college or whatever, and you know, I did college because it was just like the norm, and like you had to, and like how could I go back and like look at pops or my grandparents and be like, wait, you did 3.5, 4 years and you didn't
finish?
Yeah, so it was more of like.
See, I was dumb. I didn't even get in, so I didn't have to worry about that.
Oh, word.
I didn't even get in.
That's interesting, bro. That's good.
Yeah.
You went straight into hustle mode.
Well, I applied. My older sister was on the dean's list at this school, Eastern Michigan. And so in high school, at lunch period, went to all-boy private school. And like we were a powerhouse in sports too, like your high school.
Yeah.
But at lunch period, there would always be like a college representative coming to try to like recruit you, entice you to, you know, they come with the packets and stuff.
Yeah.
And so my sister's college, she was on the dean list all fucking 4 years. We call it, her name's Carla. We call her Sister Mary Carla. She's like the most beautiful, perfect individual ever. She could do no wrong. She's on the dean list all 4 years, blah, blah. I go up to her. I was like, hey, I know this is like a shot in the dark because you've had like hundreds of thousands of people graduate. My sister graduated from there a few years ago. She goes, what's her name? I was like, Carla Royer. And she goes, yeah, we know her. I go, what do you mean? She goes, no, she's got a very good reputation. I shouldn't tell you this, but yeah, just apply. You'll be good. And I go, I'm not that smart. And she's like, yeah, again, I shouldn't tell you this, but like the way colleges work is we want your sister to go there and then you to go there and then your brothers and sisters to go there and then your daughter to go there. So like, just apply.
Right.
And I go, okay, well, I applied. I didn't get in. So like, you
lied to me. Yeah.
So then I applied to, I think one other school and I didn't get in, but anyways, yeah. So I didn't even get in.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's probably the
biggest blessing that ever happened.
Yeah, man.
So you go back and so you graduate, and are you at a point where you're like, okay, do I stay here? Do I go? Do I take my talents to South Beach like LeBron? Like,
right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Great
you
question.
have a tested movement, like you have a tested model.
Yep.
So my question is, were you in a position when you graduated because you had to have been peaking with momentum and credibility and popular? Like, dude, you're the man.
Right.
I mean, you're running shit. This is like kind of unheard of. I mean, I've partied a fucking shit ton. Not once have I went to a college campus where someone went to me like, hey, so wild story, but like, you know how we're like shoulder to shoulder and everyone's here in this bar and we're having a good time? Well, homeboy over there that's our age, he actually runs this. Never once. It's always some old white dude in the back that's like a creep that like has owned this bar for 20 years.
Especially in the college markets, man.
So I'm saying like, you had to have been peaking at this point.
Yeah.
So what next? You're at your peak, and how do you decide like, so what did you do at this point? My question, like, do you stay?
Yeah.
How do you decide to go?
Yeah, so it's kind of like you said, man, like that whole, you know, owning a bar at a young age and like being still in college was just like, it was just mind boggling to not just me, but like even the people around me, right? It's like, you know, like how, right? And a lot, like I said, it was a duo partnership with my boy that really instilled the belief in me that it's like, he was already in the corporate world. I was like, dude, everything is an A through Z. Like, don't overthink things. This is the first step. Go get it done. And like our partnership, and anyone can attest for this, is very yin and yang. I'm always up in the clouds and thinking about like the craziest things ever that we could possibly do. And he's like, hold up. This is what we actually have to do first. Right. We'll get there. You know, let's build that plan. And so,
did you appreciate that, or do you feel like you were held back?
Well, at first I felt like I was held back. Okay. And in the long term, I was like, dude, thank God I've got this guy. Okay. And so now I do this thing where it's like, you know, 7% in the clouds, 7% in the clouds. Like every meeting I have, even with my management team and stuff, it's like, here's my quick 7% real quick. But imagine this, right? Imagine a world where people were booking their tables, paying for their line skips, and like, you know, getting all of their drinks before they even show up to the bar. I was like, it's possible. It's this app, and this app, and we just got to combine it and market it, you know? Love and that. So that's like, obviously, like, you know, where we're at nowadays. But, yeah. And people are like, no, there's no way. And I'm like, hold on, let's get back. This is how we're going to do it, right? Jonah, give them the how we're going to do it part, you know? But yeah, college was nuts. And then, definitely on top of the world, you know, top performing bar in the entire city. Like, again, all the numbers are public. Damn. We were crushing it. Lines out the door. We still have them to this day. And then, you know, poof, COVID hits, right? And we were like, dude, we've got like a little bit more to pay off.
Oh, that's right, because COVID was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And you were you were peaking.
We got it at the beginning of 2019. So we had a 12-month runway of paying things off. Okay. Luckily, me and my boy were like, let's just overpay this. Like all that little extra we have, let's just dump it back into it. Wow. You know what I mean? ramen noodles we were used to it. It's not like we had to start eating ramen noodles. We were already eating it, you know? And so that's what we did. We just got rid of that stuff early. COVID hits, and it was just like, you know, just the whole world just collapsed. But me and him lived across the hall from each other, upstairs above our bar. So there's a couple like little apartments, and we lived across the hall from each other because I was like, dude, we might as well just live up there. Which, by the way, don't live upstairs of your bar if you have the opportunity. Like, get far away from it. You know what I mean? Because it was just like, it was not what you want. Even on our day off, like, hey, we've worked for, 47 days straight. We're going to take this weekend off. And so you're at your house just watching Netflix with your girls.
You hear the music, boom, 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 boom.
Woo, pop. Hey, shout out to Jeffrey with the bottles in the corner. And I'm like, it was just terrible.
In your head, you're like, that Jeffrey motherfucker. I know he's with us, Jazz. I got to go down.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, dude, honestly, do you even care about the show? Let's just hike it downstairs. We're the ones popping. Go, Jeffrey. You got him again. Third bottle for the night, you know?
That's fucking great.
So COVID hits, man, and we just hit the drawing board. You know, me and JR, Jonah, are really big at, just, planning out our yearly calendar, like, what we're going to accomplish, how we're going to do it, who's going to help us get there. Our big, hairy, audacious goal. We always told ourselves, like, audacious goal, we're going to open up another bar. Like, I know that's like way like out of left field. There's no way we're going to do this, but this is going to be our goal.
Yeah. And
so naturally, if you have it written down, and like as cheesy as this is going to sound, but I know that this is the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is a written plan is one to attack, but we knew that our hairy audacious goal is open up another bar, and so like the inner athlete of like always wanting to win in me was like, well, we're going to hit that hairy audacious goal. Like no one's going to stop us. So we were always looking for it, and we went. So we knew that the model was proven, right? We knew how to move our demographic, the kids our age. We knew what they wanted. So we were like, well, let's go try to figure this out at one of the largest public universities in the nation, right? Which is Texas A&M, right? 70,000 students. It's either top 3, and some rankings you'll see them as the number 1 largest public university in the nation, Texas A&M, 70,000 students. And we were like, let's go check out down there. What's the worst that can happen? We hit up a real estate agent.
How far is it from San Marcos?
It's like 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is in College Station, Texas. And we go down there, we go look at this food truck lot that's right next to like their district, which is called Northgate, right? Okay. Northgate is like, it's one big street with, 50 bars. You know what I mean? Like literally they've got more bars on their street than we have in San Marcos.
Wow.
They've also have almost double the amount of students. They've got 70,000. We've got like 40,000.
Wow.
Still like a lot of students, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Well, we go down there, and the day we go down there, and this is like maybe, to be honest, man, now that I think about it, COVID didn't hit. COVID hits 3 weeks after we go down there because we have the proven model and we want to go replicate it. So we go down to CSTAT and we end up finding this. We end up finding the food truck lot.
Wait, do people call College Station CSTAT?
Yeah, CSTAT.
I just put that together.
That's what we call it. Sorry, and cool. I'm glad we made that clear.
That's kind of cool.
So we go down to CSTAT, and this real estate agent's like, honestly, bro, this other spot just opened up. Like, do you want to go see it? It just came on the market today. It's like a pocket deal. And we're like, what? Pocket deals? So we go in there, and it's like the ultimate spot. It's a tutoring center in the middle of like 3 major bars that are doing like millions of dollars.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, wait, what do you mean this tutoring center? It's like, yeah, like they're just kind of behind on rent. It's not really popping off right now.
Kids can't focus. What the fuck?
I was like, no way.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe this. So we tell them, initiate the conversation with the landlords, take this thing off of the market, like get that sign out from the window.
Damn.
By the time we start emails, that's when the COVID shutdown happens.
Oh.
And so our landlords are like thinking, and so are we, to be honest, like one, school's never coming back, right? Because there was that weird time where like school really felt like no one knew if it was coming back.
Nobody knows. Yep.
The bar business is definitely not coming back. We had this bar concept, and she was like, nah, like the bar business is not going to hit. Like we're going to keep it open. Mm-hmm. But consistency is what truly won the deal on this one. For 12 months, I think there was a lull for like 8 months where we kind of didn't really talk to each other, but we would send one email every quarter, every 3 months. And it's like, hey guys, just checking up. I hope all is well. I know these are very interesting times. Just want to let you guys know we're still very interested in this project. We're still very passionate about what we're doing. Here's some news about our other bars. They've opened up slightly here. Then we closed back down because we had this opening and closing. When we opened up, we had one of our biggest sell spurts ever because, like we closed down and then like the government got all that pushed back and then we ended up opening up for like a week or two. Yeah. that was the biggest sales pump we've ever seen in our bar's history, right?
Wow.
And because people were just eager to get out.
They want to be out so
wanted
bad.
to get out. Like, I think we had like a 30% increase in sales over our biggest month ever.
Wow.
And then our tip average went up like 30%. So people were also tipping really well. They're just
appreciative.
They also had random money they never had before.
That's
which
right.
is interesting. You know, so I was like, okay.
Wow.
Anyways, fast forward, man. We end up just being super persistent on this College Station deal. Create a really good relationship, which I think is super important in any industry, really. Yeah. And we build it out. We took one of our partners from the bar that gave us a shot over to CSTAT. And I mean, we built that thing up, man. I mean, it took us like 18 months from the moment that it took us 18 months from the time we signed the lease to opening it up, because construction always takes longer than expected and really double the budget.
Yeah.
But even before that, it took us like 10 months of like lull, quiet crickets, middle of COVID. And so this project took like a long time. Yeah. Like a long time. And, you know, we just stayed super strong throughout it. And now we're there. We've been in College Station for going on a year and a half. We're a top ranked bar there out of the 50. I think we're top 3 every month.
Wow.
Yeah, because monthly reports come out, right? Top 3 every year.
Dude, that's awesome.
It's like a nightclub upstairs, sports bar downstairs, and then a massive like 8,000 square foot patio. We have this like biggest LED wall in CSTAT. It's like a 20-foot LED wall.
That's so sick.
Outdoor wooden sections, turf.
So I told you this, but one of my really close buddies I went to high school with in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah.
Badass football player, played Division I, and then went in the coaching world.
Wow.
Has worked his way up from literally like the bottom of the barrel. Yep. He got a position at A&M last year.
No way.
And I have yet to be to CSTAT.
No way.
So last year was his first full season, and I'm like so mad that I didn't go to game. What happened was I looked at the schedule, and I was like, okay, there's 2 fucking games on this schedule this past year that looked good. One was against the U.
Yep. Yeah.
And then one was against Ole Miss. And I was like, okay, it's a conference game, and like it's later in the year. And I think I had my daughter those weekends, but it just didn't work out. So like 110%. I'm coming.
Bring it.
So dude, game days, you have to be just wild.
Game days.
Because A&M is a cult. I'm a Ohio State football fan all day, but like, dude, A&M is a cult.
Yeah.
I know when I was just getting into the roofing game, I meet this insurance adjuster. My whole livelihood is based on if a roof gets approved or not. And the person that dictates whether a roof gets approved is the insurance adjuster. So I've got to get this guy from the insurance to like me. That's all I got to do. So I start to, I open up. I try to be as personal as I can. This dude shows up with an A&M polo, A&M belt, A&M boots, and everyone's got the ring.
Yeah, everybody's got the ring.
So I go, I'm not a gambling guy, but I'm gonna have a hard guess that you went to A&M. He goes, I sure did. He goes, granddaddy went there, daddy went there, uncles went there. Sure as hell I went there. You better believe my son went there too. Wow. So really long story, really short. This dude tells me all these traditions. Tells me how A&M fans, they don't boo, they hiss.
Yeah, they do.
That's true.
Interesting, yeah.
He told me that after losses, they blame the loss that they didn't cheer enough, so they immediately marched and fucking do yell practice.
Correct.
He's telling me his stuff, and I'm like, where is this in the world?
This is correct.
Like, I thought Ohio State fans are psycho, which they are, but this is a religion. This is like it's a lifestyle.
It's a way of life, man. I mean,
so my buddy's down there, and he's like, dude, it's wild.
Yeah, they packed the stadium the night before the game. And to go over all of their chants.
Yes.
And they've got their yell leaders that are doing like their hand motions and like it's like basically sign language for get ready, say it now. And then they're like,
that's
and like
wild. So game days.
Never seen anything like
that. Are
it.
you like
yeah, like game days.
Okay, so when you're a capacity, you're a capacity.
Yep.
You've got to have alum, right?
Correct.
If I'm a love and I'm gonna go to CSTAT for a weekend. And I'm going to go to the game. If I'm going to go tailgate and do my thing, like, dude, if I'm a guy and I got money, like, dude, what's $200-$300 to me?
Yep.
But if you're a capacity, you're a capacity.
Yep.
So what happens when you got guys that are like, I will give you $500 to get in, and you are just 3 times above capacity? Like, what do you do?
Yeah. So great question.
Because me, if I went to school and I went to A&M, which is a cult.
Blue faces.
It's nothing to me to pay a few hundred to get into a bar so I could be with my friends and family.
Correct.
So what do you do in your position when you're like, we're fucking like sardines right now?
Yeah. And
I don't
game
know
day
what
is
to
the
tell you.
worst, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so you're never gonna make anybody happy, unless you've got this new company that we work with, and I'm not sponsored by them yet. Unless you guys are ready for it, then I'm down because I'll sit here and podcast and do it, right?
Let's do it.
But
Listen
it's
to
a
'em.
company called Line Leap, and basically Line Leap, it's an app that you download and you pay for a pass to skip, right? And so,
Okay.
just think of a world where here's my 7%, right? Think of a world where like, you know exactly what 4 bars you're gonna hit, and you know that your mom, dad, and your brother and sister are in town, and you know that they're always gonna have a line every night, and we're one of those bars. We have a line every single day. You can buy everyone a pass ahead of time. And so you can, there's 4 of y'all. I'm going to buy 4 passes for Good Bull, 4 passes for Chimmy's, and like 4 passes in the night at, I don't know, the Backyard, which are all 3 bars there.
Okay.
So now you don't even have to pay like a crazy amount. There's no wondering if this or that. You don't have to question your door guys on whether or not they're keeping
You
it.
just show them your app
You
and
show
you go,
them
bro,
it,
I'm
they
good.
click it, it redeems, and they go right in. And so
All day.
we have a red velvet rope line, and that's only Line Leap. And so we can control it. Maybe at the beginning of the day, you're charging people $20, $40 to get in.
Yeah.
But by the time, as soon as you hit capacity and the game is already over and the flood is coming, right? Because the stadium's right in front of us.
Yep.
You can bump that thing up to $100, $150 a person.
Yeah.
And so all it is 1 in, 1 out, as you can imagine. So like if you don't want to push the limit, which we really try not to because we're just the new guys in town.
Yep.
All the police officers love us, fire marshals love us. We're always by the book.
Yep.
Hey, you move over to this red velvet line. As soon as one person leaves, you're the next one in. While there's 150 people doing the swiggle swaggle, up and down, with and all this chaos. And people know, like, yo, if you just want to skip, Line Leap's right here.
Dude, all day.
And so now
I get
it's
that all day.
all day, and it's truly revolutionary. It's going to change the game for any lines out there. And they're these young kids they live in New York now, but they went to Michigan. And they're like 23, 24, and they've got like the greatest app in the world.
Yeah.
They fly us to like Vegas for the bar and nightclub expo coming up in 2 or 3 weeks. Like we're some of their guys, but it's because, we're making a great boatload of money. You make a good amount of extra revenue that you wouldn't have anticipated before. It keeps out any like potential risk with your door guys taking money, because obviously you don't want guys to do that.
Right.
People will take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna take $100 from him, you better take $100 from everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because if you
Right.
decide to pick and choose who you want in and want out,
that's
now
an
it's
issue.
a problem.
Now
Yeah,
that's
because
an
those are our
issue.
customers.
Sure.
So don't risk getting fired. Have them sign up.
You know, I never thought about that.
Yeah, that's really the biggest one.
I never thought about that. As many times as I tipped the door guy, I never thought about it, because if homeboy or homegirl is behind me and they offered $100 and I come up and I give 100, they go, whoa,
What was that?
why him, not me? I never thought about
For
that.
sure. And they talk and they'll get salty because that's $100 more than the other person. And that could honestly be the entire day. They could maybe just made double,
Yeah.
right? Their whole paycheck that day.
So how many locations do you have?
So we got 4. We've got 2 in San Marcos. There's a nightclub. We opened up a shot bar next door. It's called Sake Bar and Bistro.
Okay.
And basically it's just a sake shot, like cool phenomenon that like you line up your shots and the gong and it's just cameras and everyone's just got to get it on Instagram, Snapchat, whatever.
Love it.
You go through this like super secret hallway and boom, now you're at like this, super big nightclub.
Yeah.
Right. And that's San Marcos. They're right next to each other.
Dude, this is...
And then College Station, we're like, what we learned with the first 2
Dave,
bars.
we're bringing the crew down here.
Yeah, bring it. No, seriously, bring it. What we learned with the first 2 bars is that people want a multitude of different types of environments, concepts in one.
Yep.
They don't want to leave. It's like, yeah, nightclub's great, but what if I want to like spit game and like take my girl over into like a not so loud boom 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 area? So like people go over there, spit some game, or like be able to recoup and talk a little bit, and then they go back into the craziness. So we brought that with College Station too. It's like nightclub upstairs.
Nice.
Get your bottles on, get your loud music on, come down to the sports bar, sit on one of our nice brown leather couches. You want to go outside where it's cool and breezy.
You
that's
got
the
it
move,
all.
man. Yeah. And then we just opened up a spot on West Campus, so University of Texas.
Shit. That's the big leagues.
Yeah, big
Austin.
leagues. Yeah, Austin. So that was our first major city / still trying to keep it within the college bar business,
Wow.
So that just opened up about 100 days ago.
Okay.
Somewhere between 100 and 120 days ago. And
You're just waiting for football season.
Yeah,
You're
waiting
just
for
waiting.
football season.
And they just got Peyton Manning's, they just got the Manning kid.
Arch Manning.
And then they got homeboy. There's going to be a little quarterback battle, but there's a lot of hype.
Yeah.
There's always hype, even if they're
Always in
not even
Austin.
ranked. But
Correct.
they got some hype going in this year's season.
Yeah.
To see if Manning will play a little bit. But wow, what a time!
Yeah, they've got a stud right now.
The white boy from Dallas that went to Ohio State.
Oh, he went to Ohio State?
From Dallas, homeboy goes to Ohio State, doesn't play it down.
Wow.
Transfers with $1 million deal to Texas. He played this past year, and then now they just got Manning.
Yeah.
And so Sarkisian's like, hey, I mean, it is what it is.
So what are your thoughts on the whole, NIL deals, name, image?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, from my perspective, it's like, I feel like, I don't know. I mean, the players are the players.
Correct.
The players make the league. It's a business. And I just think it is the most atrocious, disrespectful thing to have everyone in the hierarchy getting paid besides the people that make the money. Yep. So there needs to be structure. Yep. I'm not saying tone it back. I'm saying like it's gonna get fucking wild if they don't start structuring some shit. Yeah. And so I'm not here to like say like here's what I think. I'm just saying, listen, when I see kids that are making fucking 7 figures, everyone needs to calm down. Dude, these kids are kids. So to give a 19-year-old 100,000, 200,000, okay, well that's common back in starting from the 80s.
Right.
But you're talking about 7-figure dollar deal. Like this is getting wild. So I'm just saying like they need to have structure. And dude, I feel like there's just so much transition in the world right now with everything that I'm all about it, but they got to add some structure of how to monitor it. I mean, like, I don't know. They need to have a financial advisor. Yeah. Dude, they do. They need to understand how taxes work. They need kids need to understand the principle of tax. I got $1 million. You really didn't though.
Yeah.
But they said they signed me to $1 million. But you're not getting $1 million because you owe Uncle Sam unless you have a write-off. Well, what's a write-off? Okay, this is what a taxable write-off. Like they need to know how it works and need to have some like professional management under their money. But they are worthy of it, and I think they should qualify for it. They should be eligible for it, but it is going to get wild if they don't start cracking down. And then it's like if they don't crack down, it's going to be like you go to Ohio State freshman, you go to Texas sophomore, you go to A&M junior, you're going to go to Alabama senior. It's like, dude, what are we doing here, bro? Yep. So I'm all about it, but they got to find some way to structure something. I don't have the answer, but they got to figure something out.
Yeah. So. Interesting, man. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely crazy to see this being in like all these different like college markets and stuff.
Dude, that's awesome, man. Well, I'm inspired, guys. Listen, I mean, I know that God, I don't know how long you've been running for. I can hear you talk for all day, but dude, this was awesome. I think my biggest takeaways is that the confidence that you have within yourself. Where do you think you got that from? Because you were at crossroads in life. You had decisions to make just like anybody else. But, like, dude, you made some big boy decisions. Stick things out, transition, pivot some ways. But, like, you have the utmost confidence. And where do you think that started? Where do you think that came from is, like, the belief in yourself? Where do you think you got that?
Yeah. I mean, confidence, I think, first comes with the right type of information, right? Taking it in. I always read a lot of books and the podcasts and the self-help, and at least you have a playbook, right? And then I think real confidence is developed through just trials and tribulations, small W's, L, W, 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 L, W, W. And I think the more W's you take on throughout life, I think the more confidence you build. And I think that's really where it comes from, is the ability to take on an L and then pivot, hit the drawing board, draw out, send it back, And so I think that's really where the confidence comes.
I love that. Yeah. You're fucking relentless. That's awesome. All right, man. I got a series of questions we're going to run through. We're going to do a quick thing, but I got to end it with, what's next?
Can I ask you some questions?
Yeah, sure.
Cool, man. Cool. So the podcast, obviously super happy to be here as a first guest and stuff. Like, what's like your goal and intention with the podcast? Like your favorite, goal? I'm sure you got a lot of them.
What's funny is that like I literally just want an opportunity, and I'm just spitballing here, but like I want an opportunity for people that I genuinely have a high level of respect for to come on and share an inspiring story. They don't have to necessarily be entrepreneurial, but I want people to have an opportunity to share a story that could help inspire people, or if they're passionate about something, they have a lot of information to give about a particular topic that I think a lot of people would like to listen to. That's what I'm looking to attain from it. And at the end of the day, dude, relationships are the new form of currency.
Yeah.
All right. So like my objective is to build as many genuine relationships as I possibly can, because, and this might sound selfish or like whatever, but like, dude, at some point down the road, like I have been able to scale the business through relationships I established. So I have a genuine love for meeting people that are genuine, that I feel like have a good story to tell, and I have a high level of respect for it. But also like, dude, I want just good relationships for the rest of my life, so I could maybe help do business with someone, you know, down the road. But I just think that the listeners need to know. They need to know your story. And so the little that I knew, I'm thinking to myself, dude, I want to know what this guy's all about, and I want to know how he got to where he's at. And I know that everyone listening is like, that dude's the man. So I think to answer your question, you know what's funny is that as goal-oriented as I am, you can't hit a target if you don't have a target. I don't really know what my target is. I just want to consistently just put out good content, be transparent, and bring good people on, and kind of just see where it goes. Maybe I get a 7-figure sponsorship. Maybe I never collect a penny. Maybe it just keeps costing me money, but I establish more relationships. I just look at it like another platform to create for good people to share a story and help inspire others. If there's one person listening, or if there's 5 million people that are eventually listening to this one day, if you could help one person that's considering doing something, but they just heard your story and you help them, I love that.
That's the world.
And
man.
we might not even know.
Yeah.
But knowing that it could happen is what inspires me. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Nah, it did, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love to hear that. I love to hear you. Like you said, relationships are the new currency.
Dude.
It's like
Brad Lee says, the more hands you shake, the more money you make.
For sure.
Dude.
I love Brad Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on his podcast. He's a good dude.
Wow. That's awesome.
So, yeah. You got anything else for me before I run through these thinking?
I just want to know that, man. Appreciate that.
I don't even know if I answered it.
Yeah, no, you did.
All right. So, we're going to, I thought about this before you got here.
Okay.
All right. So, we're going to go rapid fire. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Vodka or tequila?
Vodka.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
NFL or college football?
College football.
Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
Steak or chicken?
Steak.
Rap or country?
Country.
Ski or snowboard?
Snowboard.
Who's the most famous person in your phone?
My buddy Dallas Salazar.
Who the fuck is that? Sorry, Dallas Salazar.
Yeah, he's just.
Is that a performer?
Nah, he's just not even famous. He's just a super baller that I know that I look up to. Yeah.
All right. Last one. Who do you think shot JFK?
Ooh. I don't want to say.
I'm
man.
a big conspiracy guy.
I don't want to say, but it's probably the man, you know. It's probably the man, you know. What's the point of saying it? I'm not trying to be the next one shot, you know.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. All right, y'all. Dude, that was a treat. That was awesome. Love you, buddy. That was great.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Make sure you check out his bars. All right, so real quick, when they go to C-Stat, where are they going to check out?
Good Bull Ice House.
Got it. When they go to San Marcos, you got 2.
The Vault, and Sake Bar.
Okay. And then last one's in Austin.
The one in Austin is the Cauldron. It's our newest concept. It's like a coffee shop during the day and then, a bar at night.
Got it.
I got to mix them both. Like, how can I get them,
I love that. All right, y'all. You guys got a treat, man. You guys got good little nuggets. So thank you guys for tuning in. Royal Rumble out.
If you vibe, don't hit you. People who ride with you, get it live.